Why, hi there, I'm Ron Jekin, and Retro Sports Network presents a special tonight. 2 games. The best players from the 1970s will face the best players from the decade of the 2000s, and then in the nightcap, to celebrate my 47 years, the 80s versus the 90s. Both games from Baltimore. This game coming to you from Fenway Park. Let's see. I gotta get the lineup set. Hold on. And then we'll get right to it. There's no lineup for November 26th. Let's see. So for the 70s, oh, I suppose I could show this part. This is from the Baseball Encyclopedia set that they sold from Action PC. Who am I going to pitch? I'm going to pitch Tom Seaver. No, I want a DH. How do I change that? I guess it doesn't matter. The opponent, and I'm going to start Randy Johnson. Computer lineup. Jason Kendall's not going to lead off. Are you kidding me? Wow. Let's do some. Let me say hi to some folks. Thanks, Max. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. I do want Jason Kendall as my catcher. I'm going to lead off. The base stealers aren't even here. Okay. I don't want Kendall leading off. Okay. All right. For the 70s. Oh, they're going to go Jim Palmer. Okay. I'll do that. Morgan, Bobby Bonds, Rose. I don't want Rose hitting third. All right, we're going to pretend it's 55 degrees. Both these games will be at Fenway Park. How you doing, OG? Thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. And so this is just games for giggles between the what Action PC considers the 1970 All-Stars versus the 2000 All-Stars, and in the second game of the doubleheader, it'll be it's going to be Roy Halladay versus Jim Palmer. In the second game, it'll be the All-Stars from the 80s and the All-Stars from the 90s, which were my prime years of baseball dumb. So, Roy Halladay gets the start for the 2000 club. They figure him to be 19-8 with a 2.93 ERA, 240 innings, 231 hits, 17 home runs, 40 walks, and 187 strikeouts. The defense around Halladay tonight at Fenway, it's Barry Bonds in left, Andrew Jones in center, and Vladimir Guerrero in right. Scott Rowland is at third, Miguel Tejada is at short, get your vitamin B12 shots early. Jeff Kent is at second, Todd Helton is at first, and Jason Kendall behind the plate. Oh, cool. Yeah, don't worry about how long those go. I mean, it took me a while to get used to it. I can do the action PC games in about an hour 20 for the football, and if I'm just doing this, about 45 minutes for baseball. But go ahead and chat. Al's a master of that, and it doesn't take anything away from it. The lineup for the 70s: Joe Morgan leads off at second base. Pete Rose is in left field. He'll bat second. Mike Schmidt is at third. He'll bat third. The toy cannon, Jim Wynn, is in center field. He'll bat fourth. Bobby Bonds is in right field. Barry's father, he'll bat fifth. Johnny Bench, the catcher, will bat sixth. Lots and lots of right-handed hitters. Steve Garvey will play first and bat seventh. Dave Concepcion is your shortstop, and Jim Palmer is on the hill. And we'll make the 70s a computer team, and I forgot to do the DH. So Halliday's ready. He'll go about 115 pitches. Joe Morgan's ready. 304, 20 homers, and 78 RBI. And here's the first pitch. Morgan fouls out a bunt back. So it goes to 0-2. Really weird not to see any graphics or anything up here. So Halliday, the late Roy Halladay, is ready. Here's the pitch. Fly ball right center. That ball is driven. Back goes Guerrero, and it's gone. It's a leadoff home run for the 1970s. And that brings up Pete Rose. Rose at 321, 9 homers and 64 RBI. I believe Halladay is the lone 2000 starter no longer to be with us. Oh, now there will be a light rain and 55 degrees. I know that Bobby Bonds is no longer with us. I'm not sure about Jim Wynn. So a lot of these people are actually still alive. So settle in. 1-0 on that solo shot by Morgan. Halladay delivers to Rose. Struck him out. An 0-2 pitch was in there, and Rose was thinking fast and got curved instead, or changeup. Here's Mike Schmidt. 279, 43 homers, and 107 RBI. Played for the same franchise, but not at the same time. Halladay delivers, and Schmidt grounds out one to Rowland. Over to Helton for the second out. Jim Wynn, the toy cannon. 280, 41 homers, and 89 RBI. That too loud or not? Doesn't look like it's too loud. Nobody on for Wynn. Halladay delivers. Got him. So Halladay gets the strikeout to end the inning. 1 run on the big solo shot by Joe Morgan in the right field. 1 hit, no errors. After half an inning, it's the 70s 1, the Naughties nothing. And so this is Jim Palmer, 21-11, a 2.45 ERA. And that's just what the virtual card was generated for. I don't believe this is an actual season of anybody's. In 301 and 2/3 innings, Palmer allowed 252 hits, 21 homers. He walked 96 and struck out 173. And the defense around him is pretty dang good. Pete Rose is in left. He's a 7 and a 5. Jimmy Wynn, the toy cannon, who never played at Fenway Park, 7 and 7. Sounds like a drink I should have. Bobby Bonds did play at Fenway. He spent some time with the Yankees and the Angels. 8 and 8 and right. Mike Schmidt is at third, and you know what? He never played at Fenway Park. Dave Concepcion did play at Fenway Park, part of that 75 World Series team. He's at short. Joe Morgan played at Fenway a bunch, but he's there because of his time with the Reds. He's a 9. And Steve Garvey, again, another great player who never played at Fenway Park. He's a 9. And Johnny Bench is behind the plate from Jim Palmer. Andrew Jones, 273, 36 homers, and 107 RBI. Palmer delivers, and there's a ground ball between Schmidt and Concepcion for a base hit. Schmidt should have had that, 2-0 fastball, and Jones is on first. For Scott Rowland, who you wouldn't necessarily think of as, here we go, a Hall of Famer, but he's on the ballot this year for the first time. 286, 27 homers, 104 RBI. Palmer's ready. Here's the pitch. Got him. An 0-2 pitch, he looked right at strike three, so Palmer gets his first strikeout. Here is Barry Bonds, who looks so skinny in that picture. So skinny. 325, 58 homers, and 112 RBI. They give him 151 walks, or as in, we'll never want to pitch to you. Palmer delivers. That's line foul, first base side. So the count is 2-2. From Palmer to Bonds, and Bonds sends that one to right over his dad and gone. So it's 2-1, the Naughties, on the 2-run shot to right for Barry Bonds. And that brings up Todd Helton, 320, 27 homers, 112 RBI. Helton, of course, had a magnificent career in Colorado, almost became a Boston Red Sox. There was talk of a trade at the end of Helton's career to see if they could get him the ring, but it fell through for what, I forget what Colorado wanted in return. But that's true. Helton almost became a Red Sox. Palmer delivers, and there's a fly ball to right. Bobby Bonds makes the catch, 2 out for Vladimir Guerrero. Expos, Rangers, Angels, 321, 36 homers, 120 RBI. My wife got me for my birthday, and I might put on the camera. Tim Raines, we'll probably see him in the next game. A Tim Raines batting practice jersey from the Expos. I think that was so cool. Palmer delivers, and Guerrero golfs one to short. Concepcion over to Garvey, and Nat retires aside. 2 runs, both on the Bonds dinger. 2 hits and no errors. After 1, the Naughties 2, the 70s 1. So Halladay, 16 pitches. Bobby Bonds, Johnny Bench, and Steve Garvey. Bobby, 276, 26 homers, and 91 RBI. You see him there with San Francisco. But he also played for the Whites. He played for 9 or 10 different teams. Halladay delivers, and there's a ground ball between Rowan and Tejada. And his son picks it up, and it's a single. So both Bonds have hit it in the general direction of each other. They have a laugh, and here's Johnny. Oh, Johnny looks so young there. I think last year the Reds had the white hats. Well, I think it was 68 or 69. Anyway, Johnny at 280, 26 homers, and 112 RBI. He delivers. Strike 3, full count, and Halladay got him to swing and miss. So that's 3 for Halladay, and that brings up Steve Garvey. Shown with his preferred Dodger hat, 310, 21 homers, 104 RBI, and waiting to host his own talk show. Halladay's pitch. There goes Bonds. Ground ball up the middle. Halladay over to Helton, and that gets Garvey. 2 out for Dave Concepcion, who for the era was a very good hitting shortstop. 289, 9 homers, and 70 RBI. But you're talking the era of Mark Belanger and other Mendoza hitting shortstops. And Concepcion played forever. Halladay deals. 2 out. Ground ball to Kent. Over to Helton. And that retires the side. No runs a hit and no errors after an inning and a half. Thanks, Al. I appreciate it, buddy. It is the Naughties 2, the 70s 1. And then the nightcap will be the one that I'm looking forward to. It's the 80s versus the 90s. Or all the players that we all watched on Game of the Week in the 80s and 70s. So it is raining here at Fenway. 56 degrees. Winds out to right center at 12. Jeff Kent, 305, 33 homers, 109 RBI. Al just had a birthday too. Al, what year were you born? Pitch to Kent, ball 4. So that's the first walk from Palmer. And that brings up Miguel Tejada. Tejada, you see him here with Oakland, but mostly known for his run with Baltimore. Palmer called a lot of his games over the years. 295, 28 homers, 116 RBI. Kent leads off for first. Nobody out, bottom of the second. Palmer deals, and there's a fly ball to center. Jimmy wins there for the out, 1 out. And so Jason Kendall, the Pirates catcher, 306, 8 homers and 55 RBI, 69. Okay, so you got a couple years on me then, but we're like a day apart. That's wild. I didn't realize that. Palmer's ready. Here's the pitch to Kendall. Here's a ground ball up the middle. Morgan's only play is to Garvey at first, and that's the second out. 2 out for Halladay. I'll let the pitchers bat twice. We've got so many of them, and you want to see some of these other players. So Halladay will get the chance to bat. We won't go through the numbers. He did actually bat with the Phillies, so this is not a new concept to him. Palmer delivers, and Halladay slaps that one into right. Back goes Bonds. He makes the catch. So a clean inning for Palmer. After 2, it's the 2000s 2, the 70s 1. They'll bring up Jim Palmer. Halladay is ready, and so is Palmer. Remember, the American League didn't have the DH until 72, and Palmer's rookie year was 66. That was the year that the Orioles surprised the Dodgers in the World Series. Pitch to Jim. Little liner in the left. Bonds will dive and not make the catch. Palmer's going to have extra bases. So Jim Palmer with Barry Bonds trying to come in. Palmer hits one past him. And that'll bring up Joe Morgan. Halladay, 42 pitches his first time through. 2 innings, 3 hits. The home run was to this man right here, Joe Morgan, to start the game. No walks and 3 strikeouts. So Morgan has a chance to bring Palmer home. Halladay delivers, and Morgan puts that one up the middle. Andrew Jones fields it. Palmer will hold at third, and Morgan's on first. So that's the 4th hit for the 70s team. And then I'll bring up Pete Rose, who struck out his first time up. Pitch to Pete. Ground ball up the middle. Kent will try to throw home. They're trying to get Palmer at the plate, and he is safe. So we're tied at 2. They weren't going to get 2, and if they threw they could have had Rose as the sure out. But they wanted to see if they could cut the slow Palmer down at the plate, and just couldn't happen. So Morgan on second, Rose on first. Schmidt, the batter. Mike is 0 for 1. Pitch from Halladay. Fly ball left center field. Bonds is there. He makes the catch. Morgan goes to third. The throw in is not in time. And that'll bring up Jim Wynn. Jimmy struck out his first time up. Not a lot of Astros or Colt 45's video from Jim Wynn's era. He would end up, I believe, with the Dodgers in 74 when they made their big run to win the National League. But if you look on YouTube, there's a shot from Old Crossley Field of Jim Wynn, who was not a big man, putting a home run out of the stadium and onto the new Interstate 70. It literally bounced off the road into a warehouse across the street, across the highway. He had some power, and he lines this one to center. Morgan will score. Rose will hold at second, and Wynn is on first with a single, and it's 3-2. The 70s. Yeah, that 66 Dodgers team was not all that in a bag of chips for sure. You had Sandy Koufax at the end of his career. Remember, he would retire at the end of that. And Don Drysdale at the end of his career. And the Orioles were a good team. They got Frank Robinson that winter from the Reds. Here's Bobby Bonds. Bobby singled his first time up. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. So they're loaded. And Halliday may not bat a second time. Here's Johnny Bench. Johnny struck out his first time up. 3-2 70s here in the third. Halliday delivers, and Bench fly ball to center. Back throws Andrew Jones. He makes it in. No, does he make the catch? He might have made the catch. Rose will score. It's a sac fly. Yes, he bobbled it but caught it with his other hand. So Rose will score. It's 4-2, and here comes Steve Garvey. Garvey's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. 1-2 pitch on the outside corner. So 3 runs, 3 hits, and no errors. After 2.5, it's the 70s 4, the naughties 2. So Andrew Jones, well, it's the top 3 for the 2000s. Jones, Rowland, and Barry Bonds. Palmer, through 2 innings, has thrown 32 pitches to his first 9 batters. 2 hits. The home run to Bonds. Walked 1 and struck out 1. That's about what you'd expect from Palmer. Pitch to Andrew is outside for ball 4. In the dirt. Inside. Wasn't even outside at all. But it was ball 4. And now I'll bring up Scott Rowland, who struck out his first time up. Palmer delivers, and there's a ground ball up the middle. Concepcion to Morgan for 1. Over to Garvey. Call it 2. Concepcion and Morgan, of course, were part of that big red machine and knew each other quite well. And Garvey played this in a few All-Star games. So here's Barry Bonds, his 2-run homer in the first, over his father's head and right, gave the 2000s the early lead. 2 out. Got him! He chased 1 outside the zone. So after 3, it's the 70s 4, the naughties 2. And that will be it for Halliday. We will go with... Who was I going to go with? I was going to go with Randy Johnson. So Randy Johnson, 19-8 according to the card. 2.68 ERA, 248 2/3 innings, 190 hits, including 24 home runs. 80 walks and 329 strikeouts. And I will pinch hit for Palmer here in the 4th. So Johnson's ready. It's a cold, rainy night here at Fenway. Pitch to Concepcion is a fly ball to right center. Guerrero is there. 1 out. And so, wow, Rice is on the 70s team? Let's see. I've got a lefty, so I need someone that can hit a lefty. Dick Allen comes in. Dick at 311, 35 homers and 94 RBI. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. I'm gonna see if the computer will play Schmidt the entire game. They should. But Allen's certainly worthy of being on an all-time roster. Randy Johnson delivers. Strike 3. A 3-2 heater at 93, and Allen swung at it. 2 out for Joe Morgan, who's 2 for 2. He is singled and homered and scored twice. 4-2 70s here in the top of the 4th. Johnson delivers. Struck him out. And Nolan Ryan comes in to pitch for the 70s. After 3.5, it's 4-2. So Helton, Guerrero, and Kent to face Ryan, 18-15, or as Buzzy Vasey would say, in the statement he'd regret later, you know, I can get 2 9-8 pitches for what Ryan wants. Not the exact quote, but you know what I mean. 2.93 ERA, 286 innings, 203 hits, 21 home runs. Remember, Ryan threw 7 no-hitters. He walked 158, but struck out at 325. And most people don't associate him with the Mets, but that's where he got his start. Was traded in '71 for Jim Fregosi. And a huge deal. Helton's 0 for 1. Ryan delivers, and Helton hits this one in the right. Bonds is there, 1 out. Vladdy Guerrero's 0 for 1. Ryan deals, and there's a fly ball to center. Here's Wynn. 2 quick out for Jeff Kent, who walked his first time up. Ryan delivers. Struck him out a 2-2 pitch. He looked at strike 3, so we go to the 5th. It's the 70s 4, the Naughties 2. It'll be Rose one more time, and then I'll put Rice into left. Heat is 0 for 2. He reached, though. Has an RBI, a run scored, and a strikeout. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd. Johnson delivers, and Pete grounds that one up the middle between Tejada and Kent, and so Rose is on. That's the 6th hit for the 70s. Mike Schmidt, 0 for 2. Johnson delivers, and there's a ground ball to Rowland. To Kent for 1, to Helton for 2, I think. Yes, and that's a double play. 2 out. Top the 5th for Jimmy Wynn. Johnson delivers, and there's a fly ball to left. Barry Bonds is there, and he makes a great play. He dives and makes the catch. Halfway home, it's the 70s 4, the 2000s 2. So Rice goes in the game in left. He's the only Red Sox on the field right now. It'll be Tejada, Kendall, and a pinch hitter to face Ryan here in the 5th. Tejada 0 for 1. Ryan delivers, and there's a ground ball up the middle. Morgan comes in on the wet grass, flips it over to Garvey, and they got him. So it's been a light rain all night. However, the temperature's warming at 60 degrees. And Jason Kendall's 0 for 1. Pitch from Ryan is a ground ball up the middle again. Morgan to Garvey for the out. 2 out. And a pinch hit for Randy Johnson here. There's no Red Sox to pinch hit. So we'll let Derek Jeter hit. Derek at 327, 18 homers, and 81 RBI. If there's any one of these players that does not need to have their story told because you know it, it's probably Derek Jeter. Wonder what Nolan Ryan will do. He kicks back in rears and struck him out. He chased a 2-2 out of the zone at 95, and after 5, it's the 70s 4, the 2000s 2. And so, who am I going to go with next? So John Smoltz comes in the game. They list him as a closer. 1-2 with 48 saves, a 2.51 ERA. Became a closer in the latter half of his career. He had arms, I believe he had Tommy John, as a matter of fact. And when they brought him back to Braves, he needed a closer, and so they used him. So that's how he's listed. 75 in the 3rd innings, 61 hits, 5 home runs, 15 walks, and 81 strikeouts. Jeter stays in the game at short. And Bobby Bonds is 1 for 1 with a walk. Smoltz delivers, struck him out. 1-2 on the outside corner. Here's Johnny Bench. Johnny is 0 for 1 with the RBI. I believe he had a sac fly. Smoltz delivers, and there's a fly ball to right. Guerrero is there to put it away for the out. 2 out for Steve Garvey. Garvey is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Smoltz, who actually did pitch for the Red Sox, but we don't talk about those things in front of mixed company, is ready. He was with the Tigers organization, and in '87 the Tigers needed a pitcher to help them win the division against the Toronto Blue Jays, and so they sent Smoltz along with some others for Doyle Alexander, who went 8-0 for the Tigers. Alexander thanked the Tigers for their loyalty by re-signing with the Braves in 1988. Pitch to Garvey is a ground ball to Helton. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that retires the side. Mike Marshall coming in for the National League. I mean the 70s. So Marshall, 13-11 with 25 saves. He could do pretty much everything, but he was ace reliever for the Dodgers for a while. Pitched for the Tigers too. 2.42 the ERA, 160 innings, 142 hits, 6 home runs. He walked 59, struck out 110. Jones is 1 for 1. He has walked, singled, and scored. Marshall delivers, and there's a line drive in the left that Rice will cut off. Jones is on with a single. No, Jones is going for 2. The throw into Morgan is not in time. And so the 2000s have the leadoff runner on for Rowland. Rowland is 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded into a double play. Marshall's pitch, ground ball to Schmidt. Over to Garvey for the out. Jones will hold at second. Barry Bonds, 1 for 2. Hit that big home run in the first to right over his dad's head. And here's the pitch. And Bonds will take a walk. My mom is sending me a text, so I will respond back. Todd Helton is 0 for 2. All right, so Helton at the plate. Jones on second. Bonds on first. Pitch to Helton. There's a fly ball to shallow right. And nope, that's going to go all the way to the wall. So Jones will score. Barry Bonds will score. They hold Helton at second, and we're tied at 4. How about that? So Mike Marshall has not pitched well, and here comes Vladimir Guerrero. He's 0 for 2. Jeff Kent's on deck, and then we'll have a pinch hitter. Pitch to Guerrero. That's a base hit up the middle. Helton will score. And the 2000s go up 5-4. Jeff Kent is 0 for 1. He has walked and struck out. So the Naughties have gotten to Marshall, who's given up 3 hits and has only retired 1 batter. He delivers, and that's a strike 3. Screwball swing and a miss. And so Tug McGraw will come in to pitch. And we'll have a pinch hitter for Smoltz. So lefty. Paul LaDuca, with 2 out, will be the pinch hitter. The Dodgers catcher, 300, 11 home runs and 64 RBI. McGraw, you gotta believe, 7-5, 17 saves with a 2.43 ERA. Remember, this is an average of his numbers, of his peak years, not an actual year. 79 hits, 5 home runs allowed, walked 42 and struck out 81. You've seen him with the Mets, but Philly fans know just how important he was when the Phillies won the World Series in 1980. He got the last out. Pitch to LaDuca is a ground ball base hit past Morgan. Guerrero goes to third. LaDuca will hold at first. And that'll bring up Jason Kendall, who's 0 for 2. And Kendall will be done after this. LaDuca now will stay in the game and catch. 0-2 to Kendall. Ground ball to Concepcion. Makes a diving stop over to Garvey, and that retires the side. Not before the Team 2000 gets 3 runs on 4 hits and no errors. We played 6. The Naughties 5, the 70s 4. And I need 9 outs, and so we will go with Hayrod, Francisco Rodriguez. Big part of that Anaheim bullpen when they won it in 2002. 4-3, 33 saves. 2.52 ERA, 71 and a third innings, 52 hits, 6 home runs, 30 walks, and 88 strikeouts. Concepcion is 0 for 2, and McGraw will be pinch hit for, I'm sure. Pitch to Concepcion. It's a fly ball to left. Back goes Barry Bonds. He'll make the catch for the first out. So I doubt they're going to let McGraw hit. Rod Carew will bat. Picture taken at Old Yankee Stadium. You can tell from the facade behind that. That's off a baseball card. Carew, one of the better hitters of all time and one of the nicest gentlemen the game has ever seen. 359, 9 home runs, 11 triples, 74 RBI. Born in Panama. Hayrod delivers. Carew hits a fly ball to right. That is deep. Guerrero goes back, and it's gone. Rod Carew takes his franchise mate Rodriguez deep, and it's tied at 5. That brings up Joe Morgan. Joe is 2 for 3. Had that solo shot. He's got a single. He scored twice and struck out. So the crowd is kind of quiet. Here's Morgan. Rodriguez delivers, and there's a fly ball to center. Jones is there for the out. 2 out. Brings up my childhood hero. You might not think he's a Hall of Famer, but I do. Jim Ed, 310, 30 homers, 117 RBI. Thankfully, only 20 grinded into double plays. 5-5 tie, and surprisingly enough, the only Red Sox player and a batter in either of these rosters. Pitch to Rise. Of course, struck him out. Swung on and missed. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the stretch time here at Fenway. And Sparky Lyle, another player for the Red Sox, comes in. Carew is done for the night. Sparky, of course, had his best years with the Yankees, but we won't talk about that. 9-4, 21 saves, a 2.33 ERA, 112 hits, 100 innings, 101 hits, including 6 home runs, 40 walks, and 69 strikeouts. He'll face Jeter, Jones, and we'll see about who I've got to replace Roland, because Roland's 0 for 3. Lyle delivers. Jeter, ground ball to Morgan, over to Garvey for the out. So Sparky, with big old mustache there, can't even get in a home uniform on a return to Fenway. Here's Jones. Andrew is 2 for 2. He's had a magnificent game. Single, a double, has scored twice and walked. Pitch from Lyle. Ground ball up the middle. Lyle to Garvey, 2 out. If I got another third baseman, I do. Troy Gloss Also from that 2002 Angel Championship team, 255, 34 homers, and 100 RBI. 5-5 here in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to Schmidt. Over to Garvey. And that retires the side. So so Glaus stays in the game at third. In a tie game, I'm going to go with Red Sox fan favorite Keith Foulke. In for K-Rod, Foulke, 271, 4-3 with 22 saves, 79 2/3 innings, 59 hits, 8 home runs, 17 walks, and 76 strikeouts. So Schmidt is 0 for 3. Grounded into a double play. Foulke is ready, and here's the pitch. And Schmidt pops that one into left center. He will hold at first, but the 70s have the go-ahead run on for Jimmy Wynn here in the 8th. Wynn is 1 for 3. He's got a single. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. The Red Sox faithful are happy about that. A 1-2 pitch for strike 3. Breaking ball. And here comes Bobby Bonds. He's 1 for 2. He is singled, walked, and struck out. Foulke delivers, and Bobby lines out to Jeter. Jeter leaps and makes the catch. 2 out. And I'll bring up Johnny Bench. Johnny is 0 for 2. He has struck out and driven in a run. 5-5, top of the 8th, 2 out, 70s and 2000s. And Bench will draw a walk. So I'll bring up Garvey. Steve is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Pitch from Foulke. Got him. He swung on and missed. He wanted fastball and didn't get it. So, no runs, no hits, and one hit, no errors. 7.5 in the books. 5-5 tie. Barry Bonds, Todd Helton, and Vladimir Guerrero batting here for the Naughties. Sparky Lyle comes in for a second inning. He is due to bat second in the 9th. So this is probably Sparky's inning. Pitch to Bonds. He draws a walk. That's not a big surprise. 3-2 pitch was low and away. Brings up Helton. Todd Helton had a 2-run double in the 6th. Lyle's ready. Helton, fly ball, shallow right. Bobby's there to make the out. Make the catch. 1 out for Vladimir Guerrero. Guerrero 1 for 3 with an RBI. Here's the pitch. There's a fly ball to left. Rice has it for the 2nd out. Jeff Kent, 0 for 2. He has struck out twice and walked. Lyle delivers, and Kent ground ball to Schmidt. Over to Garvey, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 9th. It's the 70s 5, the 2000s 5. And so Mo Rivera, don't know if you're going to get about another inning after this, so he's going to come in. And as I can't actually play the song because I'll get copyright infringed. But Rivera 6-4, 38 saves, 1.82 ERA, 79 1/3 innings, 59 hits, 3 home runs, 16 walks, and 78 strikeouts. Concepcion, a pinch hitter, and Morgan here for the 70s and the 9th. Pitch to Concepcion is 0 for 3. Ground ball to Helton. Takes it to the bag himself. 1 out. My mother is sending me cute pictures. She just sent me a picture of a chipmunk eating a piece of cake on top of a cocoa chip. Alright. So I think, despite me saying this is going to be a twin bill, I got to give her a call. So, after this game. So I might do it. So I'll do a second game after. But there's going to be an intermission between the games. So Rivera will not face Sparky Lyle, I'm sure. It'll be Ted Simmons, catcher for the Brewers and Cardinals. 302, 20 home runs, 94 RBI. Rivera delivers, popped up. LaDuca takes off the mask. 2 out. It'll be Joe Morgan with Rice on deck should Morgan reach. 2 for 4. He has homered and singled, drove in himself and scored twice. It'll be LaDuca, a pinch hitter, and Jeter for the 2000s in the bottom of the ninth. Here's the pitch. Morgan laces one to Guerrero and right, but makes the catch. Raleigh Fingers comes in for the 70s. Raleigh at 262, 9-8 with 24 saves, 127 hits, 110 innings, 110 hits, 6 home runs. He's walked 34 and struck out 108. LaDuca is 1 for 1. He has singled. Fingers delivers, and LaDuca hits this one to left. Rice is there, 1 out. So I have all these left-handed hitters against the righty, huh? Billy Brian Giles, and you know what? I really don't know much about him. 310 hitter, 28 homers, 97 RBI. Fingers delivers, struck him out. 1-2 on the outside corner. And that'll bring up Jeter. Jeter is 0 for 2. He is struck out. Fingers delivers, and Jeter hits a ground ball to Concepcion. We're going extras, folks, over to Garvey. And that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 9, it is 5-5, 70s, and naughties. Akinori Odazuka pitched for the Mariners. 3-4, 10 saves, 2.4 ERA, 58 innings, 49 hits, 3 home runs, 18 walks, 54 strikeouts. Gets the 10th for the 2000s. He will face... Okay. We are supposed to, some parts of Vermont are supposed to get a foot of snow tomorrow. We're supposed to get 3 to 6, I think. And so my mom's going off to clean out the car. So we will go to the second game right after the first. And thanks for your patience. I do appreciate that. So it's Rice, Schmidt, and Wynn for the 70s here in the 10th. Otsuka will just go the 1 inning. Pitch to Rice is a base hit left side between Glaus and Jeter, and so the go-ahead run is on first for Mike Schmidt, who is 1 for 4. He is singled and grounded into a double play. Otsuka delivers, and Schmidt hits this one to deep left. Back goes Bonds. It's off the wall. Rice will go around third. They're going to try to throw home. The throw to LaDuca is not in time. Not in time, so Schmidt brings home Rice. It is 6-5, 70s. And wow, if that holds, yeah, Jim Rice was my childhood hero. And how cool would that be? It's 62 degrees, by the way. Wind's blowing out to right at 16 and it's raining. How cool would that be for me if he scored the winning run? Here's Wynn. Wynn is 1 for 4. He singled, struck out twice, and had an RBI. Here's the pitch. Osaka got him. Struck him out. So Wynn will take some golden sombrero. He struck out 3 times. And now bring up Bobby Bonds, who's 1 for 3. He has walked, singled, and struck out. 1 out. Schmidt on second. Bench on deck. Here's the pitch. Bonds hits a ground ball, base hit past Kent. Schmidt will hold at third, and Osaka is done. And so we will go with Billy Wagner. 4 and 3, 37 saves, a 2.12 ERA, 72 in the third innings, 48 hits. 6 home runs, he walked 22 and struck out 96. Pitched for the Red Sox, I believe, the last year of his career. If you ever collected the Topps Heritage set of cards, you will remember that autographs and relics were impossible to find. And one year I bought 2 boxes. I spent $120 for the pair, and the only relic I got was a Billy Wagner, a Red Sox jersey thingy that was just gray. It could have been anybody's. I was disappointed. No, I'm not bitter or anything. Here's Bench. He's 0 for 2 with an RBI, walking a strikeout. Pitch from Wagner is a fly ball to center. Jones will have it. Schmidt tags off third. Jones will throw home. Schmidt will try to score. LaDuca puts on the tag, not in time. Or he scores easily, 1 of the 2. So it's 2 out on the sac fly from Bench. And here is Steve Garvey. He's 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Here's the pitch. Garvey, fly ball to center. Jones has it. And so Bruce Sutter, wearing a Cubs uniform, comes in for the save opportunity. It'll be Jones, Glaus, and Bonds here in the 10th for the 2000s. Sutter's ready. The numbers really don't matter because you can see them, and B, well, 7 and 7, 34 saves, a 2.30 ERA, 105 and 2/3 innings, 83 hits, 7 home runs. He walked 30 and struck out 93. Jones has had a monster game. He's 2 for 3. Single, double, scored twice and walked. Sutter delivers. Fly ball to center. Win. 1 out. Here's Glaus. Troy is 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Glaus hits a fly ball to left field. Rice is there. 2 out. And so Barry Bonds, who you're not going to pinch hit for, 1 for 2 in the 2-run homer in the first. Scored twice, walked twice. Sutter's pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Morgan to Garvey, and the 70s win the opener. 7-5. That's a whole lot of stuff on that screen. So we kind of treated it like an all-star game, and so the winner was Raleigh Fingers. Bruce Sutter got the save. Jim Palmer and Roy Halladay went 3. Felix Rodriguez had the blown save, and Otsuka took the loss. These were players that had retired, by the way, in the 2000 decades. I mean, obviously you wouldn't have, a lot of these players that you would have, but Trevor Hoffman would fit in there too, and he wasn't on that roster. All right, game 2 momentarily. Stay right here. Game 2 coming up. My friend Al, Red Sox fan, who just had a birthday himself, had a marvelous marathon for his birthday. He did all these great Red Sox teams of all time in his one and done format. So much fun to watch. I'm not starting Steve McCaddy. That's nuts. Well, this is the one I was looking for. It's the 80s versus the 90s. I'm managing the 80s. And we'll do the selected subbing for the 90s team as we go along. And so it's Steve Rogers. We got two Expos on the field for this one. For the 80s, Steve Rogers is your starter. 2.98 ERA, 14 and 12, 259 and 2/3 innings. 237 hits allowed, 13 home runs. He walked 72 and struck out 154. He will face this lineup. Roberto Alomar will lead off and play second for Team 90s. Omar Vizquel is your shortstop. He'll bat second. Mike Piazza is the catcher. He'll bat third. Jeff Bagwell, the former Red Sox hot prospect, will play first and bat fourth. Chipper Jones is your third baseman. You really can't argue that one. Larry Walker is in right. He'll bat sixth. Albert, don't call me Joey, Bell is in left. He'll bat seventh. Kirby Puckett is in center. And Greg Maddux is on the hill, batting ninth. Defensively around Rogers, I don't see Ricky Henderson around. That's weird. Timmy Raines, whose jersey I have on, that's cool, is in left. He's a 6-6. Dale Murphy, probably one of the most underrated players of all time, a 9-6 in center. Dwight Evans gets the start for the and right. He's a 9-9. Wade Boggs is at third. I'm not sure why George Brett isn't there, but Wade Boggs is at third. He's a 6. Cal Ripken is the shortstop. He's a 7. Ryan Sandberg, the second baseman, is an 8. Eddie Murray, I don't even have to look up these names. I know them all. First baseman for the Orioles is a 9, and Gary Carter is behind the plate. A 9 and a 7, and Alomar looks poised to bunt, and so will bring him in. Boggs and Murray come in. The rain has stopped. It's now 68 degrees. Wind still blowing in from right center. Oops. Rogers delivers, and Alomar grounds one to Sandberg. Over to Murray. And that's how this one starts. Omar Vizquel, 296, 7 homers, 61 RBI, also on the Hall of Fame ballot this year. Be lucky if he stays on a couple times, even though he played forever. Rogers deals, and that's a ground ball to Sandberg. Over to Murray for the second out. Max says go 90s. Thanks, Bubba. I appreciate that. I'm rooting for the 80s. But there's a lot of good players. This collection does not have any players from the 2010s yet. They had rosters for the teams. I almost did a Red Sox, Yankees, I guess Nats, but it would have been primarily Expos. But David Ortiz hadn't retired yet, so he's not on there. And I didn't want to buy the franchise greats, even though this is the last day of the sale. I wasn't spending $20 to play 2 games. Here's Piazza, Mike at 338, 36 homers, 110 RBI. Yeah, the first game was good. Extra innings, and my childhood hero hit the game-winning run for the 70s. That always works. Rogers delivers, and Piazza slaps that one into left field. Raines will pick it up on a hop, and so Piazza's on first for Jeff Bagwell. Jeff, 318, 43 homers, 124 RBI. In the Hall of Fame. Traded for Larry Anderson. The Red Sox needed a reliever at the dying stages of the 1990 season to hold off the Blue Jays and pretend they could beat the Oakland A's. And so they traded Bagwell, who I believe had only made it up to Double-A, New Britain. And we know how that worked out for Boston. Rogers delivers. Bagwell hits a fly ball in the left center field. That's going to get down. He's going to have extra bases. Piazza's going to try and score. Murphy got a bad jump on it. Throws it to Ripken over to Carter. And Piazza will score. It's 1-0 here in the first. A double for Bagwell. And the 90s get off to a 1-0 lead. Murphy misplayed that ball in center field. Again, no interleague play, and Murphy would never have played at Fenway Park. Sandberg would never have played at Fenway, and Rogers would never have played at Fenway. Carter did in that World Series that we cannot talk about. Rogers, 2 out for Chipper Jones at 324, 35 homers, and 106 RBI. First overall pick of the draft 1 year for Atlanta. What a monster career he had, huh? Rogers pitch. Struck him out. He swung on and missed at an 0-2 curve. 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. We go to the bottom of the first. The 90s won. The 80s coming right up. And behind Greg Maddux, it'll be Albert, don't call me Joey, Bell in left. He's an 8 and a 5. Kirby Puckett is a 10 in center with a 7 arm. Larry Walker, an 8 and an 8 in right. Chipper Jones, not a good defensive third baseman. He's a 4. Omar Vizquel was born with a Golden Glove in his hand at short. He's a 9. Alomar is at second, one of the better defensive shortstops, and Bagwell's at first. Now Greg Maddux, who also was born with a Golden Glove on his arm, is on the mound. Raines just has speed to burn. 307, 10 homers, and 57 RBI. Will not bunt. Pitch is grounded to Alomar. Over to Bagwell, 1 out. Ryan Sandberg at 288, 21 homers and 84 RBI, seen with a rare Philadelphia Phillies hat. He was there, traded to the Cubs, and Phillies fans would like to forget he was ever the manager. So Maddux and Sandberg were actually teammates with the Cubs. Maddux delivers, and Sandberg grounds that one to Vizquel. Over to Bagwell, 2 out. Wade Boggs, thankfully in a Red Sox uniform here. That would have been rather tacky of the Chicken Man to come to a game at Fenway Park with a Yankee uniform on. There would have been 50 lashes with a wet noodle and lots of chanting of Margot. 335, always a good hitter. 9 home runs. Doubles were a specialty. He has 39 plugged into the card with 68 RBI. Maddux delivers, and Boggs hits a fly ball to center. Puckett has got it, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 1, it's the 90s 1, the 80s nothing. So Rogers will face Walker, Bell, and Puckett, and Maddux. Walker Larry at 327, 28 homers, 100 RBI. The pride of British Columbia. Got the chance to play for his home nation team for a while, and had a very good career with the Rockies after he was done in Montreal. So it's Expo versus Expo at Fenway Park. Rogers deals, and Walker hits this one to right. Dewey makes the catch, 1 out. Albert Bell. Albert, I pick on him because he had the temperament of nitroglycerin and dynamite mixed together. Remember in 95, when they came back after the strike, he had 50 homers in 144 games. Here, 308, 41 homers and 127 RBI. 90's up 1-0 here in the second. Here's the pitch. Here's a liner in the left center. Bell's going for two. The throw into Sandberg is not in time. So Albert Bell gets a double, and that's the third hit for the 90s. Here's Kirby Puckett. Kirby at 318, 19 home runs, 100 RBI, and I believe of all the players in this game, he's the only one that's no longer with us. Here's the pitch to Kirby. Ground ball to Rogers. Bell goes to third. Throw to Murray. Is it in time? No! It goes in the dugout, and Puckett's going to get second base. So Rogers throws it away, and Bell will score. Brings up Maddox, 1 out. We're playing for the bunt. Boggs and Murray in on the grass. Rogers delivers, and it is down. Carter to Sandberg for the out. So it's a sacrifice bunt if you're scoring at home, and good God, these aren't even real teams. It goes in the book 2-4. I'll bring up Alomar. Rogers 1 2/3 innings, 31 pitches, 3 hits and a strikeout. 1 run earned. The run here in the second is not. Pitch to Alomar is a fly ball to right center. Evans knows it better than anybody, makes the catch. The 90s get on the board again. A run on a hit and 1 error after an inning and a half. 2-0 90s. So Murray, Evans, and Ripken. Murray, of course, most known for his time with the Orioles, was a big part of those Indian teams in the mid-90s. And that's a franchise that probably should have won at least one of those World Series. 97, their best bet. 313, 29 homers, and 109 RBI. Maddox delivers, and there's a ground ball to Alomar over to Bagwell for the first out. Here's Dwight Evans. Dewey was a hitter that just got better the older he got. 291 here. Far cry from what he hit in the late 70s. 29 home runs, 97 RBI. A disciple of the Walt Herniak School of Hitting. Herniak was the Red Sox hitting coach when Al and I were kids. And Evans just ate it up with a sponge. Maddox delivers, and there's a ground ball to Chipper over to Bagwell. 2 out for Cal. Cal at 301, 33 homers, 97 RBI. That's a young Cal. I wonder if that's the picture on his 82 baseball card. The one where the Orioles future stars. Tops, of course. Maddox delivers, and there's a ground ball in the hole between Jones and Vizcael. Ripken's going for 2. The throw from Bell is not in time. Bell and Ripken were teammates in the late 90s when the Orioles made that another playoff run. So here's Dale Murphy, 279, 27 homers, 103 RBI. Funny to see him in the dark blue Braves cap because he was best known before that, back in the mid-80s. Was a catcher when he came up in 78. Pitch from Maddox is a ground ball up the middle. Puckett will field it. Ripken will score. And the 80s are on the board, 2-1. Brings up Gary Carter, 277, 21 homers, 89 RBI. Maddox is ready. Piazza puts down a finger. Carter guesses and swings it. It's a ground ball to Alomar over to Bagwell, and that retires the side. 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. We go to the top of the third. It's the 90s 2, the 80s 1. So Vizcael, Piazza, and Bagwell for the 90s against Rogers here in the third. And that'll be it for Steve. He will come out after this inning. He is due up to lead off the bottom of the third. Vizcael delivers, and he drags a bunt down. Rogers picks it up, but there will be no... Well, he'll throw it to Murray, but he shouldn't have. Rogers was late getting off the mound, and Vizcael has good speed and beat it out. Vizcael, by the way, played up here. In Burlington. The Mariners were the minor league team up here. We had an Eastern League team. We had the Reds, and then we had the Mariners. And so Vizquel played up here for a year, and some scrub by the name of George Griffey Jr., I think, played at a couple weeks of games up here as he was being fast-tracked to Seattle. I saw him take batting practice. My God, did he put on a show. Piazza, 1 for 1. He singled and scored in the first. Vizquel leads off. Ground ball to Ripken deep in the hole. To Sandberg for 1. To Murray for 2. Yes, call it 2. Rogers is thankful for that. And I'll bring up Jeff Bagwell. Jeff has doubled and drove in a run his first time up. Rogers, just unheralded pitcher as far as I'm concerned. Never got the credit for how good he was. And by the time that the Expos hit their zenith in the early 80s, it was Rogers who came in the 9th inning of Game 5 against the Los Angeles Dodgers in the 81 Championship Series and promptly gave up the home run to Rick Monday. Pitch to Bagwell. There's a fly ball to left field. Raines comes in and he makes the catch to retire the side. No runs a hit and no errors. We've played 2.5. 90s 2, 80s 1. And so despite Rogers being able to hit, we won't do that. Who am I yanking here? Oh my gosh. Well, I'm not going to pull any fielders right now, even though I probably could have pulled Chipper. So Carlton Fisk, who's wearing a Red Sox uniform. How about that? 279, 21 homers, 79 RBI. He played longer for the White Sox than he did the Red Sox. True story. And why did he go to the White Sox? Because the Red Sox failed to mail his contract. They didn't postmark it in time. And so after the 1980 season, Carlton changed the Sox from red to white. And the Hall of Famer from Rockingham, Vermont digs in, although he'll tell you he's from Walpole, New Hampshire. He was born across the river here in Vermont. Pitch to Fisk, hits him. So Maddox hits Fisk on the knee. And there's a couple of pleasant words exchanged, and here's Fisk's teammate with the White Sox, Timmy Raines, is 0 for 1. 2-1, bottom of the third. Pitch from Maddox. Raines hits one on the ground. Alamar's only play is to first. Bagwell has it, and Fisk goes to second. 2-1, bottom of the third. Here's Sandberg. He's 0 for 1. Pitch from Maddox is a ground ball to Bagwell. To the bag. That's an out. Fisk goes to third. Here's Boggs. Wade is 0 for 1. Boggs and Fisk were in the Red Sox organization at the same time, but they were never on the big league club roster together. Pitch to Boggs. Ground ball right back to Maddox, over to Bagwell, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 3, it's the 90s 2, the 80s 1. Wow, no Fernando. I'm surprised. So Oral Hershiser comes in. 15-12 with a save, a 2.92 ERA. 234 in the third innings, 199 hits, 14 home runs allowed, 72 walks, and 160 strikeouts. Chipper's 0 for 1, and Hershiser won't bat, so probably 2 innings at most. Chipper, pitch to Chipper, ground ball to first. Murray to the bag, 1 out. Hershiser, of course, had that great 88 where he set the record for most consecutive innings without a run allowed, breaking Don Drysdale's record. Pitched in 2 World Series games, but only won 1. He was a starter in Game 1 against Oakland, but the A's took him to town. And so he was watching from the bench when Kirk Gibson did his magic in the bottom of the ninth. But, no, I take that back. He pitched game 2 and won both of his starts, I think. Anyway, the point being was he was on the mound when the Dodgers won their last World Series in 1988. Larry Walker's 0 for 1. Get me out of here. Here's the pitch to Walker's. Ball 4. Albert Bell. Albert's 1 for 1. He's got a double and scored a run. Walker on first. That's just an imposing picture of Bell. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to left. Back goes Raines. He'll turn and watch it go. And so Albert Bell hits a 2-run shot into the screen. And it's 4-1 90s. So all that talk about pumping up Hershiser, that went real well, Ron. Here's Kirby Puckett, he's 0 for 1. I had Hershiser in an auction league in the National, if you remember rotisserie baseball. In an auction league, he had $250 budget. And I blew $54 on Mr. Hershiser. And he promptly pitched himself out of, had a season-ending arm injury in May. Tells you just how well my season went. Kirby's 0 for 1, and Hershiser got him to look at one just below the belt on a full count. So that'll be it from Maddox. All right, who we got here? Man, this roster is loaded. Frank Thomas steps up to the plate, gets a big hand wearing the... I like those White Sox jerseys from the late 80s with the curly C like that, but I'm probably the only one. 339, 42 homers, and 124 RBI. Here's the pitch from Hershiser. Fly ball to center. Back goes Murph. And he makes the catch to retire the side. After 2 runs, 1 hit, and no errors, the 90s go up ahead again. They now lead 4-1. And I get to pick the next pitcher, huh? You couldn't have an all-time greats from the 80s and 90s and not have Roger Clemens pitch. Jeez. Clemens, 20-9, 2.58 ERA, 258 innings, 202 hits, 13 home runs. He walked 70 and struck out 246. Murray, Evans, and Ripken here in the bottom of the 4th. And yeah, I saw Pedro Martinez, and he's definitely going to pitch. He will pitch next for the 90s. Clemens delivers to Murray. Ground ball right side. That's a base hit. Walker cuts it off. Murray will hold with a single. And then I'll bring him Dwight Evans. Wonder if there was any love lost between these two. Actually not, because Evans was retired by the time that Clemens had moved on. But they were teammates. And again, so I wonder if there's any love lost between these two. Clemens delivers, and he gets Evans to swing and miss at a full count. So 1 out for Ripken. Cal doubled and scored his first time up. The lone 80s run. Clemens pitch. Piazza gets... Oh yeah. Piazza gets botched up with that, and they're going to give him a pass ball. I didn't even think about that. Can you imagine a battery with Clemens and Piazza in it? You remember the 2000 World Series when Piazza Clemens jammed Piazza on a pitch, a grounder, and sawed off his bat, and Clemens chucked it at Piazza. Roger Clemens was not on the top of a lot of people's Christmas cards list. Ripken is 1 for 2. He doubled and scored. I already did that because it's pass ball, so it's a full count. And Ripken lines this one to Walker in right, who will make the catch. 2 out for Dale Murphy, who singled his first time up. Clemens is ready, and Murphy strikes out. A 1-2 pitch, strike 3 called. After 4, the 90s 4, the 80s 1. So Hershiser will get a second inning. It'll be Alomar, Vizquel, and Piazza for the 90s. Hershiser and Carter are on much nicer terms. Or were. No, Carter's no longer with us, too. Then Clemens and Piazza. So Puckett and Carter are the two Hall of Famers in this game that are no longer with us. Pitch to Robbie is a fly ball to Murphy. He goes to the right, makes the catch, 1 out. Omar Vizquel, 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to center. Murphy has it corralled, 2 out. And so Hershiser's going to like the second inning through. Here's Piazza. Mike is 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. Line drive right back to Hershiser. A ground ball, I should say, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Halfway home in this one. The 90s 4, the 80s 1. So Kiner, a pinch hitter, and Raines for the 80s. Carter's 0 for 1. Clemens delivers. Struck him out. That's 3 for the Rocket. Let's see. So George Brett will come in. George at 332, 22 homers, 96 RBI, and he will take over for Boggs in the 6th. Clemens delivers to Brett. Fly ball to center. Puckett has it lined up. And he dives and makes a fantastic catch. How about that? 2 out for Timmy Raines. And Raines is going to lay one down. Piazza lets it roll foul, and the count is now 0-2. Clemens pitch. Raines will walk. It brings up Ryan Sandberg. Raines will not steal. Clemens delivers. Sandberg, fly ball, left center field. Back goes Bill, and he'll turn and watch it go. Rhino with a 2-run shot to left center makes it 4-3. And the 80s are right back in it. Here's Wade Boggs. He's 0 for 2. His last at-bat of the game. I believe they were both teammates in Boston and New York. We try not to talk about that, though. Boggs, ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit. So Wade will leave 1 for 3. Here's Eddie Murray. He's 1 for 2. So Clemens has allowed 3 hits in his inning in 2/3. Here's the pitch to Murray. Ground ball up the middle. Alomar. They get the force at short, or at second, and that retires his side. Now before the 80s get 2 runs on 2 hits. After 5, it's 4-3, 90s. So Brett comes in the game at 3rd. And who do I want to go with? El Presidente. Denny Martinez. That looks... Wow, that is Denny Martinez. What a young shot at him. Orioles threw a perfect game for the Expos against the Dodgers in 91. 3.20 ERA, 15-11, 245 innings, 228 hits, 24 home runs allowed, walked 70, and struck out 134. We'll face Bagwell, Jones, and Walker here in the top of the 6th. Bagwell's 1 for 2, and Martinez will lose him. 3-0 pitch was way outside, ball 4. Here's Chipper Jones. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Denny delivers, and there's a fly ball to center. Murphy goes back and makes the catch. 1 out for Larry Walker, who's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch, and that hit him. So they were teammates. Hit him in the helmet. Oof, that wasn't intended. So the 90s have runners on first and second with 1 out. For Albert Bell, who's having himself a monster game. He has doubled and homered, driven in 2. Martinez delivers, and there's a high fly ball to left. Raines will track it in for the out, and they're going to try for three. Bagel's going to try for 3, and Raines will chuck it back in the infield. 2 out for Puckett. Kirby's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch from Martinez. There's a fly ball to center. Murphy will have it, and Mark Eichhorn's coming in for Roger Clemens. So Eichhorn will pitch the 6th, and I'll sneak in Pedro Martinez for the 7th. Dewey, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And I think we're going to pinch hit for him. Yep. I mean, look at the backup outfield for the 80s. The starters were Raines, Evans, and Murphy. The backup, Ricky Henderson, Andre Dawson, and Dave Winfield. So Winfield, hey baby, Winfield is at the plate. Dave at 313, 32 homers, 106 RBI. Wearing the Padre uniform. Gutsy call. Mr. May, as he's known in New York. And my cat steps on the keyboard. Continues to step on the keyboard. Still on the keyboard. Alright, she's off. Eichhorn delivers. Winfield with a liner up the middle. Puckett will make the catch for the first out. Eichhorn, as you can see, a big part of the Blue Jays bullpen in the 80s. Wasn't a closer. That was Tom Henke's job for the most part. But he was on those teams that won back-to-back World Series in 92 and 93. Here's Ripken. Cal is 1 for 2. He's doubled and scored. Here's the pitch. And that's a line drive that's going to go all the way to the gap in left center. Ripken's in with a double. So he's the tying run. Dale Murphy, the batter. Dale is 1 for 2. He will bat. Here's the pitch. And there's a little nubber down to Jones at third. Over to Bagwell. And Murphy is safe. But Ripken thought that Jones looked Ripken back to second. So Ripken is on second first, and the second 1 out for Carter. George Brett on deck. Pitch to Gary is ball 4. So full count, and Carter worked a walk. So they're loaded for George Brett, who's 0 for 1. 4-3 90s. Ripken on third, Murphy on second, Carter on first for the 80s. They're loaded for George Brett. Here's the pitch, and he walked him like an Egyptian. So Eichhorn walks home a run. That's a second walk, and we're tied at 4. Here's Tim Raines. Raines will not bat again after this. This will be his last at-bat, as Ricky Henderson will come in and play left. But Raines is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored, and has a chance to give the 80s a big lead, or any lead. Fly ball, center field. Puckett will track it down. Murphy will go back and tag. There's going to be a no throw to the plate as Puckett tosses it back in the infield, and the 80s go up 5-4. Here's Ryan Sandberg. Rhino hit that 2-run homer in the 5th to make it 4-3. Now the 80s have scored 2 more, and it's 5-4. Sandberg and Eichhorn and Piazza have a discussion. Sandberg hits this one to right center. Walker will get it, and that's the inning. After 6, it's the 80s 5, 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. The 90s 4. So Ricky Henderson is a 7 and left, and Winfield is a 9 and right. And Denny Martinez will get the inning. Actually, he will not. I have pinch hitters, and I can start to use my pen. Kent Colvey. Great reliever for the Pirates. Pitched forever. Best known as being on the mound when the Pirates won the '79 World Series. 9-6, 19 saves, 2.44 ERA, 118 innings, 98 hits, 3 homers, 39 walks, and 66 strikeouts. He will not face Eichhorn. Rusty Greer from the Texas Rangers will pinch hit. 308, 17 homers, 81 RBI. The 90s trail at 5-4. DeColvey delivers, and there's a fly ball to right. Winfield, 1 out. Alomar, the batter. Roberto 0 for 3. DeColvey's pitch. There's a little nubber right to Carter in front of the plate. Throws it to Sandberg for the out. That's a bunt. So Alomar tried to bunt, and he couldn't reach. So 2 out for Vizquel. Jacoby's pitch is a fly ball foul, third base side. We'll do it again. I switched because I want to make sure that Pedro gets in the game for the 90s. Pitch to Omar as a ground ball to Sandberg. Over to Murray, and that retires the side. So Jacoby gets a clean inning. Stretch time here at Fenway in Game 2. It is 5-4 80s. Colby will not bat. And here comes Don Mattingly, the best Yankee never to win a World Series. Very strange. They won it. He had the back trouble at the end of the 95 season. That's the year they lost to Seattle in the divisional series. They won it in 96, but he retired after 95. 319, 25 homers, 110 RBI. Pedro Martinez, shown in a Dodgers uniform, but he's really in a Red Sox uniform. 17-7, 2.71 ERA, 215 2/3 innings, 172 hits, 18 home runs, 57 walks, and 251 strikeouts. Now, I'm saying this, and part of this, of course, is a bias of being a Red Sox fan, but I would take Pedro Martinez's peak over Sandy Koufax. Pedro Martinez, around the turn of the century, was a must-see start every time out. He never threw the no-hitter, but his dominance was just electric. Here's the pitch to Mattingly, and that hit him. See? Electric stuff. There you go. I remember one night against Tampa, I think it wasn't Bernie Williams, obviously, but it was another one of the Williams. Martinez hit him to start the game. There was a bench-clearing brawl. Martinez doesn't get thrown out. Then he promptly retired the next 25 batters or something like that. Here's Eddie Murray. Eddie's 1 for 3. Here's the pitch. Murray hits this one into center. Puckett's there for the out. Mattingly goes back to first. 1 out for Winfield is 0 for 1. Pitch from Pedro. Struck him out. 0-2 pitch, 95-mile-an-hour fastball, swung on and missed strike 3. Brings up Cal. Cal has doubled twice, scored twice. He's 2 for 3. Pitch from Pedro is a fly ball to left center. Back goes Puckett and Bell. That's going to hit the wall. So a big gain for Ripken. Mattingly will round third. He will score. Ripken's in with his third double of the game, and it's 6-4. Dale Murphy, 2 for 3 with an RBI. And they're going to walk Murph for Carter. That's a strange call. Carter's 0 for 2. Martinez is ready. Here's the pitch to Gary, and there's a ground ball to Alomar over to Bagwell, and that retires the side. Not before the 80s get another run. We go to the top of the 8th. It's 6-4 80s. Right. So Roger McDowell comes in. 7-7, 18 saves, a 2.86 ERA, 104 innings, 92 hits, 4 home runs. He walked 39 and struck out 53. Piazza, Bagwell, and Jones for the 90s here in the 8th. Piazza 1 for 3 with a run scored. Single and grounded in a double play, and this time he draws a walk. So 1 out for Bagwell, 1 for 2. Double, walk, and an RBI. 6-4 80s, top of the 8th, nobody out. Pitch for McDowell is a fly ball of Henderson in left. He makes the catch. And they'll bring up Chipper Jones. Chipper, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And he sends this one past Murray for a base hit. So the 90s have the tying run on in Chipper Jones for Larry Walker, who's 0 for 1 with a run scored. And a walk. Piazza on second. Pitch to Walker. Fouled off of Gary Carter's mask. Ow. McDowell's ready. Gets the sign. Ground ball to Ripken. Only play is to first for Murray. And Walker beats it out. They're loaded for Albert Bell. And so McDowell hasn't been all that strong. Bell, however, has been. He has homered and doubled, scored twice, and driven in 2. Here's the pitch to Bell. Ball 4. So it's 6-5. Piazza will score. Jones, the tying run, is on third. Walker, the go-ahead run, is on second. And Bell is on first. And that'll do it for McDowell. This endless parade of Mets relievers continues with John Franco. 2.52 ERA, 7-5, 27 saves. 82 innings, 73 hits, 32 walks, 60 strikeouts. Loaded for Kirby Puckett, ground ball up the middle. Ripken will try for 2. Sandberg for 1. They got Bell over to Murray for 2. Yes! Call it 2. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The 90s put 1 on the board. George Brett coming up at 6-5 80s. So Pedro gets a second inning. Pitched. Don't know where that came from. Pitch to Brett. Ball 4. And Martinez is hot. It was a full count. And he walked Brett low, and Martinez goes to Stevie Wonder and says, "How did you miss that, Stevie? That was a strike." And Stevie says, "No, my cherie amour. That was signed, sealed, and delivered, ball 4. Here's Ricky Henderson at 298, 16 home runs, and 57 RBI. Best leadoff hitter of all time. Brett's going to steal. Throw down. And they got him. And a 73% chance, and Piazza, who did not have a great arm, threw him out. So a 1-strike count to Ricky. Here's the pitch from Martinez. There's a fly ball to Puckett. He makes the catch. 2 out. Ryan Sandberg. 1 for 4, a home run and 2 RBI. Pitch to Rhino is a liner to Chipper Jones, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the top of the 9th at 6-5 80s. And Dan Quisenberry will get the honor of trying to make the save. Robin Ventura will bat. I don't know why they didn't put Ken Griffey Jr. in. Ventura at 293, 31 homers, 99 RBI, and a head full of noogies from Nolan Ryan. Quisenberry's pitch is a ground ball to Sandberg over to Murray. 1 out. Robbie Alomar is 0 for 4. Go old guys. Yeah, this was fun. We'll see if the computer pinch hits here for the 90s. Quisenberry delivers, and there's a ground ball past Murray. Winfield gets it in the corner. Alomar's going for 2, and he's got it. So here's Omar Vizcali's 1 for 4. The tying run is on second. Piazza on deck, and Bagwell to follow. Quisenberry's pitch to Vizcal, a chopper up the middle. Sandberg to Murray. Alomar goes to third. 2 out for Piazza. And I'm taking my chances with... Wow, what do I do here? Taking my chances with Bagwell. I want that force. And so Bagwell is 1 for 3. Double and an RBI. Game on the line. 6-5 80. 6-8-1 for the 80s with 8 left on. 5-8-0 for the 90s with 6 stranded so far. Quisenberry, 2 out, 2 on. Here's the pitch to Bagwell. Liner to Brett, and the 80s win. 6-5. And so Mark Eichhorn takes the loss, and Denny Martinez gets the win, and the bullpen did strong to Colby, McDowell, Franco, and Quisenberry. Slammed the door. McDowell gave up that run in the 8th to make it close. Maddox, Clemens with a hold. Eichhorn takes the loss, and Martinez closed it out for the 90s. Albert Bell had a monster game, 2 for 3 with 3 RBI. And Cal Ripken had 3 doubles for the 80s team. And so that will do. I thank you so much for being with me on my birthday. It really meant a lot for you guys to sit there and watch. And so tomorrow, football returns. 78 football replay at lunchtime returns with the Washington Redskins and Dallas Cowboys from Thanksgiving Day 1978. Until tomorrow, I'm Ron Juckett for Retro Sports Network. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.